Hello, quilt artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel Under the Needle Quilting and Crafts, where I haven't been doing much quilting or crafting. Um, so this is my Thankful Thursday coming to you on a Sunday. I actually did film a video on Thursday. I filmed it, and I even uploaded it to YouTube. I just never published it, and because my energy was really low. My energy level was so low in that video. I filmed it Thursday night. It was like 10 o'clock at night or something like that. And my energy level was so low. I had gone into the office, and I'm realizing that's kind of what it is. On the days when I go into the office, I just don't have as much energy. Plus, I got home really late because my son had work. And I figured what I'd do is I'd just kind of wait because it was already kind of late. It was like 8:45 when I was almost home, and he gets off work at 9. So, or like 9:15. So I figured what I'd do, I just kind of hang out because it didn't make sense to come all the way home and then he call and I go back. So I just kind of waited for him to call. And so I didn't get home until like 9:30, and then I made the video like 10ish. And my energy level was just in the toilet. I was wearing my bonnet. This is, let's see if I can show you guys. There's the video. There's me in my bonnet. Because I came home, I took a quick shower, I put my bonnet on, and I was like, it's Thursday, I need to make a video. And it was going to be a short one because I haven't done much. So I knew the video was going to be short. So I was like, not really a big deal. I'll just go ahead and film it. But at the end of it, I just, I don't know if it's the theater kid in me, but I just feel like if I'm going to come on camera, I need to come with some spunk. Okay. So, I just didn't feel right uploading the video. And so here I am refilming it on Sunday. What was I thankful for? Man, it's been a couple of days. What was I thankful for? I don't even remember. Shoot. Oh, I believe. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Okay. Now, okay. So, the main thing that I'm thankful for is that, like, there's so many people around me that have health issues. And I am very thankful that I don't. I'm very thankful that I still have my health. I don't have any ankle pain. I don't have knee pain. I don't have back pain. I don't have any pain. I don't have any chronic issues. I don't have any chronic conditions. I do have high blood pressure, which I do manage with medication, but it does not impact my everyday life. Um, I, I don't have to go to the doctor a lot. I don't have to take a bunch of meds. I don't have, like I said, I have no chronic issues, no chronic pain. And I'm extremely grateful for that because I know a lot of you watching have health issues, like chronic health issues, or you're taking care of someone who has chronic health issues. And I feel like I need to be, especially, at my age, I'm going to be 49 years old this year. I'll be 49 in September. And so I feel like, especially now, I need to be extra grateful for every day I walk this earth pain-free, So that is what I'm thankful for. So what have I been working on? I've just taken a break from all of my existing projects. Okay. My work project, I have not touched. My star blanket, I have not touched. And I started 2 completely new projects that are basically just simple. One is just all double crochet, and one is a simple 1-row repeat. These are going to be long-term projects. I will be putting these aside to get back to my normal projects, but these will be things that these will become my side projects, right? Because normally because I get project fatigue like really easily. So normally with crochet, at least, I like to have 2 things that I'm working on. Like one like just I like to have two simultaneous projects for home and then one project for work, right? So I have something I keep at work and I do that for when I'm at work, and then I like to have two projects for home. But when I started the star blanket, I was so excited about it that I was only working on that one project only and nothing else. And when I started to have difficulties and I started to get project fatigue, I didn't have something else to pick up and work on. So I just started two different projects. The first was because I had a subscription for a long time to Darn Good Yarn. And at first I got it every month, and then eventually I switched to every 2 months. The last couple of months, I thought I had canceled, but I didn't. So I got two more boxes that I wasn't expecting. But I've got all of this yarn. Most of it from the subscriptions, but some of it was because I think I got one of their editor's boxes one time because it was like super inexpensive. It was a really good deal. So I have all this yarn, and most of it is like sport weight. Some of it I only have one skein. Some I might have 2 or 3 skeins of the same yarn. But for the most part, I tend to make a lot of blankets. I don't really make a lot of small projects. I just like to have a nice long-term afghan to work on. And so for me, with 2 or 3 skeins of yarn, what am I do with it? So I decided to crochet it all into one blanket. I don't know why I said blanket like that. But here she goes. It's actually coming out way better than I expected. Some of these yarns are much nicer than I thought that they were. Because sometimes when you look at a multicolored yarn in the skein, you can't really see what that yarn looks like until you actually start working up the yarn. And some of this yarn just worked up way prettier than I ever anticipated. This right here, this is, I held 2 strands together. So this is 2 strands together of a shade called, I think it's Wildflowers or something like that. Or was it the Mulberry Dreamscape? I don't remember. But I thought this was going to be like my favorite yarn, this green and purple, because I love those colors together. But then when I held these two together, I was just so in love with how the colors came together. This third band here, that's actually 2 different skeins of two completely different colors held together. This is 2 together of the orange. Now these first 3 bands of color are all sport weight. This was a DK weight, so it was a bit thicker, but it's working. It'll be fine. So I'm just working up all this yarn, just a basic double crochet stitch. That's all I'm doing. It's just double crochet and that's it. But I have worked out how I'm going to match the yarns. Sometimes I'm putting 2 of the same color together. Sometimes I'm putting 2 different colors together. Right now I am working up these 2 together. And these 2 together is what's giving me this, which I'm in love with. When those are worked up, I will be pairing these 2 together, and I'll be working that up. But basically, I'm just going to work through this yarn. The only ones that I'm not using, I'm not using the blue. I had started off using this blue here, and it just threw off the entire vibe of the blanket. And I tried to stick with it. I think I ended up doing like 5 rows. At first I did this by itself, I believe, and I didn't much care for that. And then I did it doubled with one of these pinks. So I did this blue here, and I held it with this pink because this pink is like a fingering weight, and this blue was like a DK weight. And I tried it, and I didn't like it. It just completely did not match the blanket. it just completely threw it off. So I just undid all of that. I just undid those 5 rows and moved on to colors that I liked better. I really wanted to work the blue in, but it's just not gonna go. It's just not gonna go. But I've got 3 of these other blues, and this darker blue. I don't think that's gonna work well either. But these can all go together into something. I don't know what that's gonna be, but the rest of this I'm gonna use up. This fingering weight yarn, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I mean, that's just not a weight of yarn that I use very often. And not just that, but the yarn itself was difficult to work with. It just kept twisting on itself. And I don't use fingering weight a lot, but I have used it a little bit. And it's not supposed to do that. It just kept twisting, and I found it difficult to work with. I didn't like the yarn. So I don't know what I'll do with that. I still haven't rewound everything that I frogged. I haven't wound that back up. I'm not looking forward to it. And honestly, I might not wind it up at all. I might just toss it. The pink yarn is completely intertwined with the blue yarn, and the pink yarn is so difficult to work with. What I might do is save the blue yarn and just not even try to bother rewinding the pink yarn. Like, even just caking it up was a pain in the ass. Like, I had to get my yarn swift out, and even just trying to get it wound up into a cake was very difficult. The yarn was not cooperative. I don't like it, and I'm not going to mess with it. Life is too short to use yarn that you hate. So I am doing that. And then I started this other project here. This is just a basic 1-row repeat. You gotta love a 1-row repeat. This is just a ripple. This is, again, me holding 2 strands together. I love holding 2 strands of yarn together and just using up a bunch of yarn to make something. I love it, okay? Especially for a side project where you just want to have that sense of accomplishment, you know? Like, every row that I crochet of this blanket takes probably 15 to 20 minutes. And I get, let's see, what are we getting here? About 1.5 inches of height for every 2 rows, you know? So I do this for an hour, and I get, almost like 2 inches of progress. So it's just a nice confidence booster. I am holding together a skein of Lion Brand Mandala in the color Centaur. And I am also using this Lion Brand Ferris wheel. I started off using this color, holding the Centaur with this color, a Ferris wheel called Cherry on Top. And then now I've moved, since I finished the first skein of that, I've moved on to this color, which is Pink Marmalade. I wasn't sure how everything would go together, but I decided to just go for it. And I do like how it's coming out. I do like how the colors are mixing together. I have no issues. So that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been doing. Now, I did buy some stuff that I don't need. Absolutely don't need. But I bought some stuff that I don't need, and I want to show you guys. Oh. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm actually not, I can't say, okay, so I was going to say I'm not the biggest fan of kits, quilt kits, crochet kits, but only because of the way they are marketed. And what I mean is, they'll say, here's a picture of what you're going to make, and we're going to give you all the fabric or all the yarn that you need to make it. Okay? What does that mean exactly? I want to know specifically what I'm getting. I want to look at the back or look at the package and say, you are getting this many yards of this, you're getting this many fat quarters, You're getting this. I want you to tell me what I'm getting. You're getting this many skeins of this specific yarn. I want to know, not just you're getting all of the Hirschner's worsted 8 that you need. Okay, but how much is that exactly? Right? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting a good deal. Because my thing is, a lot of times, like I would see this for like quilt kits all the time. They'll be selling a quilt kit, right? And the thing is like $100, $120, right? But then you go and you find the pattern, because that's what I always do. When I would see a quilt kit for sale that looks good, that I like, right? Normally with quilts, I can find the pattern, because it'll tell you, sometimes it'll tell you the pattern designer, or it might just be the fabric manufacturer that's got a team that made the pattern. But 95% of the time when it's a quilt kit, I can find that pattern somewhere sold separately. And then I can look at the pattern, look at the back, and it'll tell me what the fabric requirements are to make that quilt. And then I'll know what's in the kit, right? And what happened is sometimes I'd be looking at a quilt kit, and then I go look at the pattern, and the pattern is like, to make this quilt, you need a layer cake and 2 yards of background fabric and half a yard for your binding. Okay, so let's do the math on that, shall we? Let's do the math. So our layer cake I'm going off price because I haven't bought a quilt kit in quite some time. So I'm going off of prices that were in existence like 2 years ago, the last time I was looking at quilt kits, right? So your standard layer cake at that time was about $40. And a yard of solid was about $9. So 2 yards, that's $18. Plus half a yard of some print fabric. That was maybe, what was that sell for? Maybe $12 a yard plus 6. So that's $64 plus a $10 pattern. That's $74. So if it's $74 in materials, why are you charging me $125? For that, I'd rather just buy the pattern, source my own and sometimes the pattern is free. Sometimes the pattern would be free on Robert Kaufman's website or Blank Quilting's website or something like that, and it's a free pattern. So you're not even paying. It's not even a paid pattern. So there's not even any value added to the pattern. So you're paying $64 to $74, where you're getting $64 to $74 worth of materials, but they're charging you $100 to $125. I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to make sure I'm getting a deal. And sometimes the kit would be on sale. Like I go to Hancock's of Paducah and it'd be a quilt kit on sale for $80. But then I'm like, okay, but I can buy the layer cake for $30 because it's an older line. What am I paying for? Anyway, that's my problem with kits. But like I said, at least 99% of the time or 95% of the time, if it was a quilt kit, I could find that pattern. With crochet, not so friggin' much. The patterns be exclusive. So I can't find out exactly what I'm getting. Tell me what I'm getting for my money. Don't just say I'm getting all the yarn I need. Tell me how many skeins of yarn I'm getting, what colors. Tell me what I'm getting. And they don't, and that friggin' bothers me a lot. But my dumb ass, anyway, went and bought some friggin' crochet kits, right? Because I could not find this friggin' pattern, right? And then I got, sucked into the Hirschner's rabbit hole of things. So it all started with this pattern here. This is a diagonal ripple afghan. I personally have not seen a diagonal ripple. And I searched the interwebs for a diagonal ripple pattern, and I had trouble finding one. Now, I know Google sucks these days. Google used to be a great tool and to help you find the information that you need to find. But now Google only wants to show you things to sell you things. Like, it's not interested anymore in helping you find information. It is only interested in helping you find things to buy. So maybe the pattern is out there, but I couldn't find it. And the only one I could find was like on an archived website from that hasn't been active in years. And there were no pictures, and it was an older pattern. And I was concerned about how it was going to work out. Like, so I was like, okay, I'm going to get the kit. I'm going to get the friggin' kit, right? So the kit was on sale for $39.99. And for $39.90, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I'm just saying I could have gotten this cheaper because the extras that they're throwing in aren't really necessary for me, right? So you're getting the pattern, and like I said, you can't find this pattern anywhere. So I'm going to have to give the pattern value, right? So I got my money's worth. I got 3 skeins of this Hirschner's worsted 12 and 1 skein of this Hirschner's worsted 8. And in this, you get a darning needle, which is cheap as heck, right? And you get a label, but the label is a freaking Hirschner's label. Like, it's going to take me how many hours to crochet this thing? Maybe 100 hours total to crochet this thing. And when I'm done, you think I want to put an advertisement on it for Hirschner's? After I spent 100 hours of my blood, sweat, and tears, and sometimes tears are involved. Okay, sometimes tears are involved when you're making stuff. Okay, but I'm supposed to then put a Hirschner's friggin' label on here? I mean, I appreciate the effort, right? But absolutely not. I will not be, because it's going to say, it says made especially for you by, and then there's a place where you can put your name, and then it says Hirschner's. So who made it, me or Hirschner's? No, I don't, absolutely not. And we all know a darning needle is like 5 cents. Okay. So this is 10 cents worth right here. Okay. And you do get the bag, which is fine. I have no problem with these bags, but let's be honest. You can go online and you can buy these bags, right? And you can get, like 6 of them for $20. So this is a $4 bag. So we have $5 in extras, right? Then we have the pattern that's $15. And if I had bought the yarn separately, the yarn would have been like $32. So yes, the value is here, but I would have preferred to just be able to buy this by itself, which I guess is the point, right? Because I've seen this on Mary Maxim as well. The only kit that I've purchased on Mary Maxim was the one that I just got for Bag O' Day Crochet. And it was worth every friggin' penny because there was no extra value for the pattern. The yarn, the difference between the price of the yarn, actually, no, I take it back. I got a deal because I got the kit on sale. It was 25% off, and then I had a 25% off coupon. So, I mean, I made out like a friggin' bandit with my Mary Maxim kit. This, I'm breaking even, which is fine. But I just don't, I might have made a different decision even if I really wanted the pattern, I might have made a different decision if I could have seen exactly what I was getting, right? If I could have seen exactly how much yarn I was getting, I might have made a different decision. But anyway, that's my kit rant, okay? But I have no intention of using this yarn to make this. I will be using this yarn to make it. I would really, really, really like, to have this done by Christmas. So this would be something that I might start. Well, I started it just to make sure I could do it because it's got things in here that I've never done before. I've never done a foundation double crochet 3 together. Um, I'm not used to, um, I'm not used to crocheting past where I'm at. So like, what I mean is when you're working this, you start off with this light blue section, right? And then you have to chain to create this. You have to chain to create this increase, and then like go back and forth. So I did start it just to make sure that I could do it, but that's not really something I plan on working on right now. I just wanted to make sure that I could do it. So if I couldn't, or if it was too much or too much of a hassle, I wanted to be able to send it back. I don't have a problem returning things. Now, but my dumb self should not have bought this in a stinking kit. I was out of my mind. Um, I was out of my mind. This is why you don't shop on a Friday night after you've had a couple glasses of wine, because you make poor decisions, right? I bought this kit. I got the pattern, right? But instead of buying this kit, I should have just bought the friggin' yarn by itself. Because I have no intention of making this pattern. None, zero, zip, zilch at all, right? None. But this kit cost me $37.99, and the yarn was $29.85. So if I had bought this yarn by itself, 5 skeins, it would have been $30. So I overpaid by $8 to get this kit because I don't want the pattern. So there's no value to me there. And I certainly don't care about the 10-cent label, Hirschner's label, and the 5-cent darning needle. But at least it is a metal needle. I believe. It appears to be metal. Let's double check and make sure it's metal, shall we? Shall we? Wait, did this one even come with one? No. Yes, it does. Hold on. Yeah. Let's see. Because I do prefer a metal needle. I do. Definitely metal. So there's that, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, this is really where I got hosed, because I could have bypassed the pattern and just bought the yarn by itself. So I do regret that. And the yarn would have been wrapped, because generally when you buy at least 3 of the same color, they're wrapped. So I probably would have bought 6 to make sure I had enough. And that was another thing. Like, anyway, I probably would have bought 6 to make sure I have enough. I have 5, so 5 might not be quite enough to make this. But I do have grays and blues and whites that I could use in the border, because really I'll have enough yarn, certainly, to make the body of the blanket. I might just run short on the when it comes to the border. But even with that, because I have to have a free shipping coupon in order to shop at Hirschner's. If I don't have free shipping, I'm not doing it, because their shipping is outrageous. Outrageous. And it's fine, because I believe it ships from like Canada or something. I don't know, but it's like, I think to ship what I got would have been like $20, $25 or something like that. But the only reason I was even looking on their website was because they had a free shipping promotion going on. So yeah. Again, I'll pick this up later. And my star blanket is done. Maybe I'll do this after the star blanket, or maybe not. I don't know. And then another kit, like I said, late on a Friday night, couple glasses of wine, poor decisions. Um, I bought this one because I actually really did like the pattern. It's a stitch sampler type blanket. It's called the Stitch Symphony Afghan. Um, and I do like a stitch sampler. I found that I don't like making squares though. So if I'm doing squares as a stitch sampler, where I have to make squares of equal size but different stitches and techniques, that is not for me because my tension is not consistent and my crocheting is not consistent, and I just would rather not. Uh, but doing it like this, I do actually like. The work blanket that I have right now, the blanket that I'm doing for work right now, that is a stitch sampler blanket. So each stripe of color is a different stitch. And I'm actually really enjoying that. And I'm enjoying getting to learn different stitches. I'm actually really liking it. Um, so I picked this one up. Yes, this would have been a lot cheaper. Well, not a lot cheaper, but it would have been a little bit cheaper if I had just bought the yarn. But when I do the math, the yarn would have cost me $39.76, and this was $44.99. So the pattern is $5. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's worth it. Um, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. Um, and it's just so bright and colorful. So when I am done with my current work project, this will be the new work project. Um, I like it. I like this. And last but not least, I got some, what I hope is decent quality yarn. I don't know. But I got 8 skeins of this Willow Yarns Daily DK Weight 100% superwash wool. Uh, so this was an ambitious purchase, right? Because I would like to make a wearable, and I would like to make it out of wool, out of a quality yarn. And I was able to get this, for a decent price. This is Hirschner's. It was on sale. So these were $4. But then I got a pack of 5 that was $17.85. So I saved $1.55. $2.55. I saved $2.55. But then I got 3 additional skeins for 8 total. I would really like to make a wearable for the winter. I haven't decided what exactly I want to make yet. But that's the yarn that I want to use to make it. This is machine washable and dryable. It uses an H hook. 14 stitches by 16 rows is our gauge. It's 100 grams and 284 yards. I love the color. This is one of my colors. So yeah, I want to make myself a winter wearable with a nice, warm, hopefully quality yarn. It had good reviews, so I'm gonna be optimistic. But I would like to take off a couple of pounds right now. I'm a little heavy right now. But June starts pool. In the summer, I do water aerobics. The pool is open 3 days a week. I believe is it Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30, and then Saturdays from 8. Is it 8 to 9 or 8:30 to 9:30? I don't remember right now. So pool time is coming. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll get some activity back in my life, and hopefully I can get some of these pounds off. That would be great. Menopause has not been kind. I've gained 20 pounds from after menopause. It's ridiculous. So I'd like to get some of that off. it'd be great to get it off before my birthday. My birthday's September 3rd. So this is June 1st. So I've got 90 days, 3 months, in the pool doing some activity. See if I can get, 10 or 15 of these pounds off. I'm not putting a ton of pressure on myself. I just want to be a bit more active. That's it. And if the pounds go, they go. And if they don't, they don't. But I just want to get a little bit more active. And so I'm looking forward to that. It starts this week. I normally don't do the first week or two because it's got to be hot enough. But we'll see. Right now, Tuesday's high is 85 degrees. So by the time we're getting in the pool, it'll probably be about 80 degrees, which is a little cool for me to be in the pool. I only really like it being in the pool when it's kind of hot, but we'll see. We'll see. I definitely don't think I'll be doing Saturday mornings right now because it's going to be pretty cold on a Saturday morning. Saturday morning at 8:30, it's probably going to be 70 degrees, 75 maybe, and that's just really that's a little too cool for me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get back to moving. So I'll probably switch some things around since pool day is Thursday. Realistically, I'm not going to be able to do a Thankful Thursday video. I might just change it to Fantastic Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just have to film it in the morning. And maybe that's what I'm going to have to do because on those pool days, class ends at 7:30. By the time you dry off, get in your car, it's like 7:45. By the time I'm getting home, it's like 8:15. I've got a shower, and then I'm usually starving, so it's like 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to play that by ear and see how I want to do that. But I'll flesh that out. I'll flesh that out pretty soon. I'll know how I feel. But it's kind of, I don't want to make any judgments yet because what happens is when I do start working out, I do end up with more energy. And so I'm not as tired sometimes. So we'll see. I'm going to play that by ear. But it would be great to get a few pounds off and be able to make myself a nice wearable in a color that I love that goes great with jeans and boots. A pair of brown boots with some jeans. Yeah. So, that's what I've got going on. I did try to sew something and I knew immediately that I messed it up. I was sewing, I was trying to make the smaller project from the Open Gate Quilt subscription box. And I knew I messed it up because I was like, wait a minute. This zipper is... So I've got to take the stitching out, go back and actually read the directions because I'll just be so gung-ho sometimes. I'll just start going and not really pay attention to what the heck I'm doing until I realize I've made a mistake. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to that. But that's really it for me. Yeah, I think that's really it. I also on my agenda is a pair of socks. I think I showed you guys this Premier Fruits yarn, and they have a free watermelon sock pattern. I would like to make a pair of socks. I think that would be kind of cool. Because I'll probably only do it one time because I'm just not used to working with small thread and a small hook. But we'll see. I have a test pair of socks that I'm working on now. That'll be technically my first pair will be these test socks. But as I've been working on them, I'm not quite sure if I want to finish them or not. Not because of the pattern, but because of the yarn. Since I've never made a sock before, I didn't want the watermelon socks to be my very first ones. Because I actually want to have something that's functional that I can use. So I had got this fingering weight yarn from Hobie. And so I started, but then it has this, you see the shine? This is the Hobie Universe yarn, and it has this metallic thread that goes through it. And I'm like, am I gonna like how that feels? Like, how is that gonna feel? Like, this doesn't feel. I don't know if I'm gonna like how it feels. So I'm a bit concerned. Um, I'm a bit concerned. So I think what I'm gonna do, since I'm this far, um, next step in the pattern is to keep single crocheting in every stitch around until this measures 7 inches. I am using the Perfect Sock pattern by Olga Poltava. Hope I'm saying that correctly. So this is what I'm making, the Perfect Fit crochet socks. And so my next step is to keep going until this is 7 inches long. And so I thought what I would do is do that and then just kind of put it on my foot and maybe put another sock on top of it and walk around a little bit and see if that metallic thread is aggravating to me, because I don't like it on my face, right? And the bottom of your feet, you know, you feel everything. You feel everything. You can have a piece of rice in your shoe and you're going to feel it, right? So I don't know. I'm a little concerned. So I don't know. We'll see. I haven't worked on this much because it's tedious. It's so tedious. Just little tiny stitches. I don't like it. But I really would like to have a pair of crochet socks. So I'm gonna get to it. I'll do it eventually. But right now, I just want to make sure. I want to give that yarn a little bit more time. Work it up a little bit more, and then see if I'm gonna like the way it feels next to my skin. And if I like it, then I'll just go ahead and finish making the socks. That'll give me, some experience of making the heel and doing those types of things, just ribbing and, all the other things that go with socks. So I'll kind of have a foundation of knowledge before I try to make these socks here. So for me, this is a long-term project. I would like these to be ready for next summer. This is not something I'm trying to have by winter. Whereas, the diagonal crochet blanket, I would like to have that done by Christmas time because I think it'll look great. Adrian and I have different tastes for Christmas colors. He likes traditional Christmas, red, green, gold. I don't like none of that. I like silver, blue, and white. So, or even like completely eclectic, like purple and teal, like and silver. But anything other than red and green, basically. If it's not red and green, I'll probably like it, right? But if it is, it's just not. I don't know. Maybe it's because that's how I grew up. My grandmother every year was like traditional Christmas colors. So, and then I personally, when I became an adult on my own, I didn't celebrate Christmas for a long time, like for years. I didn't celebrate Christmas until, let's see, my oldest daughter, 2009. So from the time I graduated college in 1994, I mean high school in 1994 to 2009, I did not celebrate Christmas. I didn't put up a tree. I didn't have any decorations. I didn't do any of it. So the first time when I celebrated Christmas, I had to go out and buy ornaments and start from scratch and buy everything. And I went with fuchsia and teal and blue and all of that stuff. And I loved it. And then when those ornaments started to get a little old, I had gotten some new ornaments from a family member that had gifted them to me. They weren't using them, and they were the blue and the silver. And once I did that, I was kind of hooked at that point. So once I had that one blue and silver, that was kind of my thing, and it's been my thing ever since. And I really don't care for anything else, right? So I would love to have that blanket done in these colors because it would look great for Christmas. It would look awesome. So I'm excited about that. So that is something that I would like to have done by Christmas. I don't know how realistic that is. So I think it's pretty realistic as long as I start it as soon as I'm done with the star blanket. So if I finish my star blanket and then this is my next project, I feel pretty confident that I'll have that done by Christmas. Even somebody as slow as me and as lazy as me should be able to get that done in 5 months, right? I think so. Um, because especially when with this blanket, it looks like the hardest part for me is going to be the increasing, right? The first half of the blanket because it's corner to corner. So the first half of the blanket, and I've never done a corner to corner Afghan before either. I've never done anything corner to corner, which is why I started the project to make sure I felt comfortable doing it. I'm still not absolutely sure I want to keep what I've done. I don't know. I'm using an eye hook and I don't like the way the fabric drapes right now. So I think I might pull out one of the other unused skeins and do up a couple of gauge swatches and see um, and just kind of test different hook sizes and tensions to see what I like. Because right now I'm not liking anything about the drape of the fabric at all. So I think that is something I'm gonna do. Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that because I'm not really feeling it. I'm not. There's a stiffness to it, and I'm not sure if it's the yarn, um, and I'm being super careful. So matching. I'm matching. I'm really trying to be careful with my tension right now. Um, but now that I know, and also now that I know what I'm looking for, now I want to Google. I want to see if I can find a corner to corner ripple, right? Because I was looking up diagonal ripple and it kept giving me ripple and chevron, but none of them were diagonal. They were all traditional and I could not get the diagonal. So now what I think I'm going to do is not use the word diagonal. I think I'm going to use corner to corner ripple Afghan pattern and see if I can find something. And like I said, I'm also going to pull, because this might end up being okay. I might end up liking this. So I don't want to undo this and have to redo it. So I'll just pull out an unused skein, and gotta love the Hirschner center pull. Like it is just a wonderful thing to have a center pull, a designated center pull. Um, but I was using an eye hook. I think I'm gonna try it um, with a J. I think I'm gonna work up a gauge swatch with a J hook. And then I'm also going to work one up with an eye hook without being so tight with the tension. Um, and the reason I'm tight with the tension was because of the gauge. I was trying to match gauge, but at the end of the day, I don't really care about gauge for a blanket, at least not this kind of blanket. I just want it to be, I want it to have the drape that I want it to have, right? I don't want a stiff blanket. And maybe when I wash it, it'll be fine, but I don't want to spend months working on something to wash it, dry it, and it not be what I want it to be. So there's that. But yeah, I'm gonna play with this for a little bit. I'm gonna play with my yarn today, and this video ended up being way longer than I expected it to be because I had more energy. The video I made on Thursday, it was like 20 minutes because I couldn't wait to get from in front of this camera. I was so low energy. I was like, I started off good. Like the first 2 minutes, I was there. I was in there the first 2 minutes. I was feeling good. But then like by halfway through, I was like, yeah, so, this yarn, Scott, 8 ounces, 489 yards, eye hook. Like, that's kind of where I was. And it just, I at least want to try to be entertaining if I'm going to talk to y'all forever. Anywho, that's it for me, guys. I'm sorry I talked for almost a friggin' hour. That was not my intention. I expected this to be about 30 minutes, but when I have energy and I get in front of this camera, I just want to talk like constantly for some reason. I don't know why. But anywho, that is it for me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.